Hey, how's it going? I said a couple times, but I'll repeat it. High elo players in League of Legends are unfortunately complete losers. Right? I'm talking about, like, I know it sounds very negative, but you have to understand when a person climbs to a certain level of standard, right? There is certain assumptions that are associated with that person, right? So, for example, hardworking, strong-willed, right? Strong-willed, disciplined, right? Good decision maker. This is all um, kind of when you think about a person of a high status who made it himself. This is what comes to mind, right? Now, League of Legends high elo players possess none of those qualities. Most of them are whiny teenagers, right, who sit for the whole day, do no training, because you have to understand, to get to a certain level of, let's say we take tennis player, basketball player, they have to master their craft, be it CSing, or let's say, I don't know, tennis, right? Be it a serve, be it how he moves around the court, right? Now, notice I made multiple videos. What I'm saying that League of Legends players do not do any form of training whatsoever, right? So, and the reason why they don't have to do that is because this is a rotation game. This game is less to do with skill and more to do with playing 5,000 games and not inting hard. And at 52% win rate, you become number one, rank one, because it's a rigged game. Like it's as simple as that. It's a rigged engagement optimized matchmaking is a completely rigged system, where your win rate is going to be somewhere between 51 to 60%. Most of the games, I'd say 90%, are already predetermined, right? So your impact on the game as a whole is very limited, right? I know you can win like 10% of your games, but over 1,000 or whatever, 5,000 games, you will land at about between 50, I'd say 50 to 55% win rate, right? So you have to understand, this has nothing to do with skill. There are multiple BS in this game, like counter picking, picking overpowered champions. You can win just on champions alone. Most of the games I win in one-on-one is because they are playing Yasuo and I am playing Tryndamere. It's game over. That's it. They pick Katarina, I pick Tryndamere, it's game over. They cannot win. There is no way they can win. They pick Blitzcrank, I pick Trinda, they cannot win. Does that make sense? Right? They pick, I don't know, let's say top lane, I don't know, they pick Jax, I pick Timo, right? Game over. Right? It's game over, dude. Right? Unless the jungler comes in help, I will just, as Timo, make his life so miserable he won't be able to do anything, right? So that's what I'm saying, is that in this game it's less skill and more to do with kind of manipulating the system and game rotation. That's why you see people at the top, they are whiny crybabies teenagers who sit for the whole day and play the game, right? Look at this guy. I just played against him, right? Meet Agony Pain. I am high elo, Kiana Kassadin 2 trick. Okay? So he picks Kiana into me. Okay, champion, considering you have correct runes and correct build. I almost lost a couple of times to Kiana in a full game as Tryndamere. So the champion is viable, right? I do my normal build. He builds very bad items. This is a ridiculously bad start because in his mind he thinks that he's gonna just one-shot me, right? So what happens? I smack him, I get him to half HP, and he realizes that he has done only 10% damage, and now he has no ignite, no way to heal, and half mana pool. And that's like first 20 seconds of the match. He then types, I don't even know what he typed, but he just exited the game and that's it. Now, you have to understand, this is challenger, high elo player who wants to display his skill publicly, who, like, just think about a person who wants to display his skill publicly is usually, in my opinion, associated something that is unique, something that is rare, something that is like look up to, right? Are you really gonna be looking up to a dude who, like, look at the game length? I mean, minions spawn at like what, 45 seconds? So by 1:15, because it's approximately 30 seconds for them to walk to the mid until they meet, right? So the game length was 28 minutes, and that's for me to figure out that the guy left the game. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, this is whiny, undisciplined, spoiled teenagers that are on top of the game. You're wondering why there are not a lot of females in League of Legends. Like, there's a lot more females in Valorant than there is in League of Legends, because in Valorant there is certain degree of skill required to play the game, right? You have to understand that, like, shooting precisely is something that is, it's like a skill. It is a skill, right? But in League of Legends, rotating 5,000 games and sitting and crying, being a crybaby, and then getting to whatever top 10 challenger players does not really require a lot of skill. Would you agree with me on this, right? Like when people play shooting games, they have to train their aim, they have to be sharp, they have to be focused, right? All of that are kind of fitness indicators when you think about it. Whereas compared to League of Legends players, they are whiny crybabies who play 5,000 games. That's the standard in League of Legends. So that's what I'm saying, is that, dude, like forget about the ranks in this game. They don't exist. They are completely fictitious. They are not even real, right? So I invite people to play one-on-one. It's much more robust. At least in here you have to make correct decisions, which is, there is unfortunately limited champion pool, right? You can only play certain amount of champions. Like, Draven is a good ADC if you want to play Draven. I don't think you can play any other ADC. Some people say you can play Tristana. I cannot confirm that, because every Tristana I just slaughter, right? What else? There is a Volibear, good pick. Darius is a good pick. Renekton is a good pick. Rek'Sai, Nocturne. I'd say to a certain extent Kiana is a good pick, right? And there is no rotation mechanism. You have to understand that in one-on-one, there is no system that decides who you're playing against, right? Or are you picking first, or are you picking second? It's a blind pick. You do not know what he's gonna pick. He doesn't know what you're gonna pick, right? So you need to make correct decisions, right? So, and you have to factor in, you could be in a mirror match, something that doesn't exist in ranked, right? I don't understand why they removed mirror matches, right? I really don't. Because now game is a little bit like rock, paper, scissors, right? Whereas in mirror match, he picks Z, you pick Z. They pick Teemo, you pick Teemo, right? Something that you can go toe-to-toe with, right? As opposed to some bullshit like you pick Tryndamere, they pick Set, and they just go double armor runes, and you're almost useless. Like, you can't do anything. And then they rush Ninja Tabi, and then that's it, right? Until you get your Kraken Slayer, I mean, like the strong item that does true damage, you can't really kill the guy, right? You can't. It becomes a farm fest, right? And then that's it. And the game effectively becomes a coin flip, because whoever gets the better teammates wins, and that's it, right? You cannot do that in a mirror match. Cannot do that. If you're a shittier player, the other guy's gonna just beat the shit out of you, right? And that's what I'm saying, is that, like, fundamentally, League is not a skill game. Like, people think that there is some kind of skill in this game. Now, there is, but I mean, it's very basic, very, very basic. Understanding, like, how to CS doesn't take long to learn, right? Understanding how to play around cooldowns, not really super. Considering, like, we have also kind of extensions like this, like Professor, for example. You see, I mean, this thing completely calculates the cooldowns of their flash and whatever, and their well, they're summoners, right? You have to click on it, but whatever, right? And then you can kind of estimate that most ultimates, they're about 2 minutes, right? At rank, at final rank, they're about 90 seconds. Most ultimates, right? Most Qs are gonna be about 10 seconds. Most E's are gonna be around like whatever 5 seconds, right? And most W's are gonna be somewhere in between, right? So you can kind of estimate the cooldowns as well when you think about it, right? So I'm telling you, like you watch those like challenger players, you're gonna become a whiny teenager. That's it, right? Because I mean, Jesus, like, right? That's why I'm pushing people to play 1-on-1, because there is no engagement optimized matchmaking 1-on-1. It actually requires a little bit of skill to play, assuming you're playing overpowered champions, right? Because it's hard. It's very hard to beat good Volibear as Tryndamere. Believe me when I tell you this. It's very, very hard. There are some setups that I still don't know how to beat. I still don't know for Volibear in 1-on-1 against Tryndamere. There is setup like good Aatrox in a full game is close to impossible to beat. Right now I'm thinking there is actually no counterplay that you have against them. I need to play more against good Aatroxes. Most of the Aatroxes I play against, they're disgustingly bad. I mean, nobody mains Aatrox, but I mean, I'm talking like against proper like master tier, grandmaster, one-trick Aatrox. Man, it's close to impossible to beat them. Very, very, very strong, right? And you see, I have to figure out strategies how to actually do that, as opposed to saying, oh, you know, I'm just gonna play 20 more games, I'm gonna win 11 and lose 9, and voila, I have climbed. So it's just become like invest time to win as opposed to skill to win, if that makes sense, alright? And I'm giving you an example, like what you're gonna turn into if you play this game long enough, 5-on-5. You're gonna become this guy here, right? You're gonna become this guy who is on Twitch telling people that he's the shizzle and that he's super skilled and that he's alpha, right? And then he's gonna be a whiny teenager as soon as resistance hits him, right? And that's not very, I don't know, that's not very honorable traits to develop. So I'm saying that, you know, either play 1-on-1 or get the hell out of this game, right? Just either play, again, like, either play 1-on-1 or just don't play this game at all, right? Because it's a total waste of your time. Take care.